Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Southend Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United of the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this.
But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Southend United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast. I'm your host Mike and we're in association with Lucky Star Gin. We are being joined today by Chalmers and Mark Bravery. Sorry, Chalmers, PC, Pessimistic PC. I don't know what you want to call. We're going to be talking about both Southend and Rochdale and 4 points from 6. This is brilliant. We love hearing from you. We love joining the conversation, likes, shares, retweets, comments, all the rest of it. Love it. You find us on all the social media platforms at Sutton Podcast. So, Mark, it seems like just a few days since we had you on the show. How have you been?
It was post Boston, wasn't it? So that was,
about
a week and a half ago. Yeah, I've been fine. Yes, enjoying the weather.
Lovely. And Paul, it's been a while for you. How are you?
Not bad, yeah. Not bad, thanks. Yeah, life's been busy as always. So, I've not had a chance to get on for probably before Christmas, I would say. I don't know when exactly, but it's been a while. So,
I see you're installing and reinstalling defibs all over the borough.
Yes, yeah. I've refitted the one today on the outside of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think got knocked off by the grass cutters.
Yep.
So that's all up and running again. So Claire's very happy with that, as it was the first one. So
it was indeed. She was very upset. Thank you for that. I'm so glad you got involved because she's so delighted.
Same here. It's a great charity, and I'm just happy to help.
Beautiful. So I gave you both a little question. Don't know if you saw it. Mark didn't because he's suddenly looking at his screen.
No, I haven't seen it.
I did see it. So
excellent. Have you ever tried to convert anyone into becoming a Sutton United supporter? So this was the Knowing Me, Knowing You jingle, and then Paul, it's with you first. So Paul, have you ever tried to convert anyone into becoming a Sutton United supporter, and how did it go?
Yeah, I've quite a few people actually over the years with mixed success. I mean, my brother Alan, who many people know, he's had a season ticket over the years. I'm not sure if he had one this season, but he doesn't seem to appear at many games, it seems. And if he is at one, it's generally one I'm not at. So we're like ships that pass in the night. And other friends, I've probably bought a good dozen people down, probably. At least, and everyone wanted tickets when we had the cup run, for example, and I tried to get a couple here and there where I could, but yeah, none that have really stuck massively. As I say, Alan has probably been the most successful one, but there's Darren and Billy who travel to a lot of away games as well and do home games with season tickets as well in the last couple of years. But yeah, I think the issue that's appeared with the prices, and they were saying they think they're going to be passing next season, but we'll see. Yeah.
You might not remember, but you did drag me back for a while because when I had I had to change all my sort of lifestyle a little bit with and change things. One of the things was football triggered lots of beer and crap food and stuff. So I thought, let's cut that out. And then we went on a really good run. And I didn't want to come back because of the, I believe in superstition, but you were like, come on. So you dragged me back, so that counts. I
Oh,
think
no, fair enough. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was probably around the real social dads days.
it would have been, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
And Mark, what about yourself? You had a few seconds to think now.
Yeah, I can't really match Paul's exploits there. I think the strict answer to the question is no, I haven't really. But my friend Peter, who I got to know through the campaign for Real Ale about 20 years back, he was originally an Arsenal season ticket holder going way back to the 1970s. But he became a bit disenchanted with Arsenal for various reasons, and he stopped going, basically. And he started to follow various other clubs, including Brentford. And he came with me to the old Sutton game. This is back in the last Ryman Isthmian spell, and then National League South. And then when we got into the National League, he decided to get a season ticket, and he's been a regular for the last 8 seasons or so. And he gets to nearly all the home games, and he gets to the away games if there's decent drinking. That's his main criteria. If there's some good pubs, he'll come to an away fixture. Yeah,
absolutely. Beautiful. So, give us your thoughts. Let us know if you've ever converted anyone to a Sutton United fan or had a great failure. Let us know on social media at Sutton Podcast as well. Club news, lots of bits going on. I can't remember where I got up to, but we did get through to the final of the National League Cup, which I know a lot of people do like, some people don't like, but we're now playing a under-21 side, so it's kind of us defending the National League against the under-21 Premier League, etc. So hopefully everyone will get behind the team. Still no news that I've heard of where or when, but Leeds under-21s is going to play us in the final. I know we have asked if it could be at Gander Green Lane because it's like, well, what's the point of making people travel for miles, and it's more likely to get a bigger crowd at Gander Green Lane than anywhere else. But we will see. I don't think you're at this, Paul, but Ben had a Q&A session on Monday.
Yeah, I heard a few whispers about it, yeah.
Yeah. Mark, you were there?
I was.
There was... I know he worries about things sort of coming out of the room, but it wasn't an awful lot of deep secrets involved. But what did you think in general about the Q&A and the different stuff, especially the data side that he was very keen to talk about?
Well, that was quite interesting. I mean, it was basically about how they use data. The club uses data primarily for recruitment, actually. And they look at players' performances under various headings, successful passes, successful tackles, breaking the lines, etc., and also fitness records. And it's slightly ironic that Ben mentioned that one of the reasons we signed Will Davies is because he had an excellent fitness record, and then, of course, he didn't play last night, presumably because he was injured, though we haven't had that confirmed as far as I'm aware. But up until last night, I think he played pretty much every game or was available for every game. So despite his absence yesterday, his fitness record has been pretty impressive. And Ben also talked about Edwino Vaz having very good stats as well from the data set. My sort of question that I asked was, given all this impressive data and the way it's used, why hasn't that quite translated into better performances on the pitch, particularly at home? But Ben didn't really answer that. But he did mention injuries, and we have got quite a few key players out. 7, I think, at the moment, if you include the 2 who were missing last night. 7 players who you might expect to start in any league fixture. So that's some mitigation. But yeah, overall, I thought it was quite interesting, very, very informal. Ben was quite happy to take questions, and some people went off piste a little bit, and that didn't really matter. So it was, I think, overall quite a successful evening and quite educational.
Yeah, I thought one thing I thought was really, really good is you had Terry Bullivant there.
Yeah,
definitely old school. You can't press it up any other way. But he said this whole system, he goes, absolutely 100% believe in this system. He said, I used to have to send scouts here, there, everywhere to build up a big picture. But with this system, we've got a good picture of people before we're sending people to go and have a proper look at them. And for me, that was like, well, that should set everyone like, okay, it's fine. We've got the old school, as he said, flat caps, but he doesn't wear it anymore. Saying
flat cap and a burger, I think he said.
But, yeah, absolutely, flat cap and a burger. But then he also is prone to exaggerating the truth, because he did also mention that he loves and gets on with every agent in the game and trusts them implicitly. So we're not sure. One other little thing about that is I had a quick chat with him about Harry Bueman's red card, which I know has been rescinded, but I don't know if you guys saw the video of that, and everyone's slagging off the referee, and I'm like, that's nothing to do with the referee. That referee doesn't deserve anything because it's the players, and one goes down crutching his head. It's the player that deserves all the abuse on there. Did you see it, guys?
I've seen it. Yeah, it was soft. I think that's going a bit light with it.
Yeah,
there was he sort of gave him a bit of a shove. I felt Harry did give him a little bit of a shove, it looked like, but it wasn't in the face by any stretch. Harry was probably a good 6 inches shorter than him, to be fair. So you'd have seen his elbow coming up. But it's a shame. But
yeah, it's got rescinded now. One thing I also love, Mark, is when he sort of said, "Oh, it's the first red card of my career," he had Bravey on the post almost straight away, going, "No, you got sent off at Dover a few years ago."
Freaky, yeah.
Word break. As we mentioned, there was a nice semi-final and some fantastic penalty shootout for the first 4 penalties each, and then not so fantastic afterwards. But well done to Jack Sims and Andy Little, obviously, for the penalties. And then, thankfully, John Meany's wife, who did have a health scare, is home and fine. And John was there last night. I did question why he was there, and he said she told me to go. So I would imagine that he was bouncing around the place, and she was like, "Christ's sake, get out of the house!" But thankfully, she's home.
And John did a post-match interview, didn't he?
He did indeed, yeah. So myself, I've been busy the last few. On Saturday, I was questioned. I sort of do the hospitality questions now for the players, and there were 6 players. There was Tony, Paul, Vernon, Phil, Mike, and Steve Fowler as well, all from the sort of Coventry game. So only about 120 people in the room while I had to stand and ask these guys questions. No pressure, nothing. It was fine.
You're getting good at it now.
I'm getting I'm doing it. Last night's one was quite funny because I was in hospitality last night, thanks to the Holiday Inn and Charlotte, who invited me. So I was in the hospitality, and then I did a chat with Jack Taylor on the stage, and I sort of said, "Oh, I'm here with the Holiday Inn, so I'm going to ask a question about the Holiday Inn." And oh my God, he was brilliant. I said, "Oh, which is your favourite hotel in Sutton, and why is it the Holiday Inn?" He was like, "Oh, the food's great, the staff are wonderful, and the rooms are lovely." I was like, "Mate, they're not paying us. It's all right. We're okay." But they were at the bar and chatting to Matthew, so I didn't hear any of the lovely plugs. So, but yeah, it was really good. It's nice to see a different way of watching Sutton as well. It was like, oh, this is slightly different. The behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but what we offer to people. But let's get through some of the football stuff. I've kind of written down a few things here. 8 show on both games. So first of all, Paul, 2 big home games against opponents kind of up there. 4 points gained and climbed back up to 12th. How do you feel about the overall 4 from 6? And also both games decided in the last few minutes of the game. What do you think about that resilience that we're showing and plugging away to the end?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously overjoyed with 4 points. It could quite easily have been 1 point in total out of those 6 with not long to go in either game, couldn't it? So we've got to see that us plugging away must show that our fitness isn't in a bad place for the stage of the season. Quite pleased with the points haul. I think a playoff push is still a bit beyond us, but wishful thinking.
Absolutely. Rename the show "Wishful Thinking." Mark, what about yourself? What do you think of the overall thing over the 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think John was keen to stress that this team keeps playing until the end. They don't give up, and if you're just the one goal down or it's the score's level, you've always got a chance if you keep plugging away to get a late decisive goal. In fact, in all 4 of the last league games, there have been very late goals. 3 of them been scored by us to salvage 2 draws, and then last night a win. The opposite happened at Boston, of course, where we were drawing and then ended up losing to a slightly freakish goal. But the goal last night was a bit freakish as well. So this cuts both ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, although the performances over recent games have been a bit patchy, you can't fault the team's determination and perseverance, and they do keep plugging away until the final whistle.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was someone on the forum had said about this finding the spirit showing through, and I think it was Frankie again who was like, "No, the spirit's always been there. It just hasn't.
Yeah,
we haven't applied the I can't remember the word to use, but he said the spirit's always been there, but we just haven't maybe applied ourselves as much."
Yeah.
But Mark, staying with you with the Southend match. In hindsight, everyone should have lumped on for the Southend goal scorer. Almost nice to see the goodies. But what did you think? Obviously, Ben's opening the scoring and half celebrating and not quite fully there.
Yeah.
And we've seen that from him before. But how did you feel about the Southend match and Ben scoring against us?
Yeah, I mean, it was a quite spectacular goal, wasn't it? I think he scored the occasional goal like that for us when he was with us. We know he's quite a threat from set pieces. But yeah, I thought Southend looked a good side, and it took them a while to sort of grow into the game. But as the game progressed, they started to look more and more in control. I think they got that goal in the first half, and it looked as if they were going to see out the 1-0 win. And then, it was Lewis Simple, wasn't it? Had that run right into stoppage time. He just sliced through their defence, hit the post, and Ashley Nannerson, who's come in for a little bit of criticism recently for perhaps not being quite on his game, he was alert to the chance and first to the loose ball and got the goal. I think he's played well the last couple of games, and obviously, his involvement in the goals underlines that. Yeah,
I was blamed for him. He's not by him. I was blamed for him. He was like, "I'll be on his back." I'm like, "Hang on, I'm not on his back. I'm just taking a mick out of him." Paul, what do you reckon? What did you think about Goodies scoring against us and how we sort of recovered from that?
Yeah, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? As we were saying it before the game, it'll be typical. And yeah, he did take it well, didn't he? I wouldn't say it was quite an overhead kick, would you? It was he sort of hooked it over his head, didn't he? But I don't mean that quite all over his shoulder. But I wouldn't quite claim it to be an overhead kick. But he took it well, and yeah, a bit frustrating that we didn't defend it a little bit better, maybe. But the positives were, we got a point. As I say, we plugged away. I think they were definitely a more dominant in the game. They were definitely, I think, the better side. There was a few frustrating moments from us. We seemed to misplace a lot of passes, and there was. I noticed the ball just going under our feet, under our studs a few times, and just going out of play from a pass. And it frustrates a little bit, but good to see the battle. Good to see us keep plugging away. Jack Sims was very busy, wasn't he? What I remember. I mean, it was a few days ago now.
Josh was with me last night, and he hasn't been much this season. I was saying about Jack how well he is, and I said he's really, really good. I said there are a couple of times he just makes sure we're all awake and everyone's paying attention fully, just to get our little pulses racing. And then he did a few things last night in the first half as well. Josh was like, Jesus, I see what you mean. I mean, again, this is going to jump all over the place, but substitutions recently have seemed to be really working. Now, I can't remember what match it was. It must have been 5. Did we come back to win that one? I joked with Nana. Yeah, I joked with him saying, "Well, we were losing when you came on, and 77 minutes, and then we won the game. And there was another game that he came on, and we almost did it. I think it might have been Boston. And then other subs this time have had an effect. Do you think we're getting to that moment where, like, I think John was indicating it last night, where people who start the match, people who finish the match, it's the whole process. How do you think we're managing substitutions? Because under Matt, it used to be very much between 60 minutes and 70 minutes. We knew this one was happening and that one was happening. We knew what was going to happen, but these are a little bit more finesse, I reckon. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, it's good to see that we are trying to change the game. We're trying to make something happen. We're bringing a mix of players on as well. It was good to see yesterday, for example, Vinny come on, and he had a good go, didn't he? He had a good battle about, and he looked. I didn't realise he looks quite a stocky lad. I've not seen a huge amount of him because I don't really get to the Surrey Senior Cup games, and they're the games he's mainly played in. So he's a stocky lad, and he looks like he could be someone who could get involved in first team proceedings going forward. But yeah, overall, I think it's definitely a positive. As you say, the 60, 70 minute thing was always stood out, didn't it? It's like, here we go. We know what's coming here, and we could generally name the substitutions as well, couldn't we?
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, definitely a positive, and it's good to see that we are keeping going, as I say, trying to change things.
Yep, going to the end. What about yourself, Mark? Do you feel that the way Morrison's managing the in-game and making those substitutions is having a big impact? Or has that always happened? It's just
I'm not sure it's having a big impact, but I think he uses substitutions quite astutely. He's much less predictable than, as you say, Matt was. Obviously, other teams do watch us, and if you're very predictable in the way you make your substitutions, they're going to pick up on that. And if you're unpredictable, they don't know what to expect. They don't know which players might come on and when, and that gives you an advantage because you can catch them out sometimes. So I think that's one of the reasons why Steve does mix it up a bit more with the way he uses the substitutions. I'd actually forgotten that Ashley Nadesan was a substitute against Southend, because he came on and scored that goal, and he started last night and did play the full match.
Yeah, I mean, we did last night the Rochdale game again. Was it scrappy? I think it was scrappy. But we were in it. I'm not sure. Obviously, got the sort of amber tinted glasses on, so I wasn't sure we're overly in danger. They had a few chances, but again, hang on to the end. You mentioned Vinny there, Paul, involved in the goal, long ball, which we don't do very often. Knocked it on, and then Nadas slotted it home.
You can't even keep a straight face saying that, can you?
Yeah, I can't. But Mark, how do you feel like last night, the game overall? Did you feel we were going to get something out of it, or did you feel that here we go, they're going to get something in the last few minutes?
I thought it was going to be 0-0, to be honest. I thought they were the better side in the first half, particularly the kind of the middle third of the first half, when they seemed to be pretty much in control. But their shooting was a bit wayward. Jack made a couple of saves. I thought second half, they seemed to ease off a little bit, rather as Southend had done. I think the substitutions did make a bit of a difference. The game did seem to open up a bit in the last 20 minutes or so. I noticed that Vinny was getting quite a lot of space up front. He was sort of playing centre forward because Ashley Nadesan was moved out to the wing, his more normal role. And, Vinny, he's obviously a young guy, plenty of energy, bit of pace, not the tallest, of course. So he wasn't winning many headers, but he was chasing a lot. He was chasing balls. And I actually said to Jenny Corkett, I think he's going to score. He didn't, of course, but as you pointed out, he was involved. He got sort of assist to the goal. So, he certainly showed his worth, and it was great to see him getting that chance and being involved in the way that he was.
You mentioned he didn't win many headers, but he did win that header.
True. Yeah.
And Paul, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I saw it being a 0-0 as well. It just had all the makings of a 0-0. It was scrappy a bit, wasn't it? As Mark alluded to, some of their shooting was very high and wide at times, wasn't it? It was all over the place. I don't know if they heard something or thought they knew that Jack was susceptible to long shots or something, but they did seem to be trying that, didn't they? And none of them really got close. So yeah, I saw it just petering out to a 0-0, but obviously, as you say, Vinny's knock on and Ashley keeping going and getting stuck in there, and you just don't know what's going to happen, do you? The keeper was sort of halfway. He was in no man's land a bit, wasn't he? He was sort of coming for it, and he wasn't. I think it was only his third game for them as well. He's come in on loan, I assume, emergency loan from, I think, Sheffield Wednesday, one of the lads said. So when they were starting to look a bit shaky in the second half a little bit, the centre-back who came on, Ebanks something, Landau. I think
Landau, ex-Wolves,
yeah. He come on and they had a bit of misunderstanding and they both went for the same ball and we had a little bit of a chance there. I thought Kane had a good game as well. I was quite happy with Kane's efforts. He looks positive. So there was definitely some positives coming out of the game. But yeah, overall I was thinking this is going to be 0-0 and we'll take a point. Again, 2 points against two playoff hopefuls.
Exactly.
Not too bad.
That's the other thing. They're both sort of up there. I'm going to talk about the goal because, yes, I'm quite happy to take the P out of Nadders. And he even said it last night. I was going to take it away from him. Without him, that goal would not have happened. He chased in. He did exactly the right thing. Yes, the defender was coming back onto goal, and then Nadders kind of stopped the ball, knocked it off him almost. And looped it up, and that was really, really clever play to get it. So, yes, it's an own goal, but that was definitely from his work, and it was. You could never really say an own goal's intentional, but like those ones where you drill it across the goal, and you hope it's going to clip off someone, you're making an intentional move to do it. But what did you think? Were you just too busy celebrating, Paul? Or did you really have a chance to look at the goal and see what actually happened?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good view of it from where I was standing, sort of to the right of the goal, as you're looking at it. So I saw him come in, and I did see, the way the challenge happened. They're both right-footed players, so their feet are going to clash in that way. And looked like Nadders got to it first, and as you say, it came off of the right back, and the way it looped over, it was like. Couldn't believe it, really. It's like
beautiful,
a bit of luck that you want, just sometimes you want things to go for you, and sometimes your work ethic and the hard work you put in, these things sort of come off. Hard work pays off and all that. So hopefully that was the case.
Might have been you, Mark, saying that luck evens itself out, but we're due quite a dollop of it because we've had a lot over the season. But what did you think of the goal and Nadders? Working.
I mean, having earlier said I thought Vinny would score. I think by that stage of the game, I was again pretty much resigned to it being 0-0. But Nadders had played the full game, and he still had the energy to make that strong run. And it was a strong run into their penalty area. He got the ball, and when he does that any player makes that sort of run, you think, well, maybe something's going to happen here. And we hadn't seen too many runs like that in the second half from our players, and he still had the energy to do that. And I couldn't exactly see I couldn't tell whether he'd scored or whether the ball had gone in off the defender. But then Tony didn't announce the scorer, and I knew then it was an own, because he never does if it's an own goal. He just won't announce anything. Yeah. So I knew that it was an own goal. And it was quite an amusing own goal, if you like, or quite a spectacular one. And you enjoy those in a slightly Schadenfreude sort of way. But I had a lot of smiles around the perimeter fence when that went in. And only a few minutes left after that. There was, I think, 3 more minutes of the 90, then only 3 added. So we each had to see out another 6 minutes, which we did fairly comfortably. And it was the first time, we celebrated a home win in the league since January. And I think that goal and that result, lifted everybody around the ground, because you got used to being a bit miserable at the end of the game, sitting in the bar. We were awful. We should have done better and didn't win it. And suddenly we get a win, not undeserved, and everybody gets a bit of a boost from that. Apart from the Rochdale camp, of course.
I mean, we were sort of watching it slightly different last night because we knew we'd have to pick a man of the match, and that was quite difficult because we were battling everywhere, but it was like, who are you going to pick? So we were kind of trying to narrow it down, but Kane had a good shout and then he went off. Then we were looking at Nana Boateng, because he was quite busy in the first half, and then again a spell in the second half. Bez at left back was quietly doing everything. Jack and Lewis were doing well in midfield. None of them anything superb and spectacular. And we're like, God, whatever we choose is going to give us some grief here. And then he thankfully scored or created that goal. So we're like, oh yeah, that's an easy one now. It's difficult when you can't just pinpoint. But it's good as a fan. It's good that you can't just go, this player has carried us through. It's the whole team, the spirit of the whole team, and the fire of the whole team was done really well. I mean, we've done well the last couple of games. We've got some late goals. How important? And I think John Meaney said similar for the matches. He said how a match ends is how you can bring it into the next match. How important? I know you said it's gone, but how important is it we go on a run, Paul, to finish this season as strongly as possible to take in to the close of next season?
Yeah, it would be nice for us to do so, to pick up some points, But being the pessimist that I am, I see us struggling against Ebbsfleet. I'm sure we'll come on to it, but they've picked up a few results, and I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that we should get a result against them, shouldn't we? They're tailed off. We should have enough to beat them, and I hope we do. I know we've got injuries and so on and so forth, and I wouldn't say we have the most tricky run-in. We've got Barnet, obviously, but there's sides we're playing who are in the middle of the table. I think Woking are going to be safe pretty much now. Yeovil are pretty safe, I think, aren't they? Obviously Ebbsfleet down already, so it'll be nice for us to have a good battle and show something, win a few more, and as you say, give us something positive to go into the summer with.
Exactly. Mark, what do you reckon? I said that was John saying about the matches, but it quite applies equally for the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got 5 games left, haven't we, in the league? And sometimes the form at the end of one season can indicate how the next season's going to start. So even if you've got not a lot to play for, you're not going to go down, you're not going to go up. You still want to win games. You still want to finish the season on a bit of a high. So I'm sure the management team will be looking at ways of winning those final few games, even if they don't all end up as wins. Were we to win the last 5, actually the playoffs would probably come into focus. But as Paul said, I somehow can't quite see that happening. Maybe if Barnet have clinched the title by the time they come to us on Easter Monday, I think it's possible they'll be a bit relaxed and we could perhaps beat them then. But if they can clinch the title by winning at our place, obviously it's going to be a different situation, and you would expect them to do that. So there's a few unknowns at the moment. But I think I think John said that very late equaliser against Southend gave the whole team a bit of a lift. I think that may have carried through to last night's performance.
I mean, there's 2 things One is that would be a really nice symmetry, because obviously we won the title and then went to Barnet.
Yes.
So
yes.
it'd be quite nice if the other way around, so we could have
Yeah.
hungover players. And then
they gave us a
talking
guard
about
of
that,
honour as well, didn't they? So
again,
they gave us a guard of honour, so it might be nice to repay that gratitude
Absolutely.
and do the same for them.
Then there was that talk that I said, "Oh yeah, take us all into the new season." I'm just remembering that season we won the Conference South after that brilliant run, and we went like all those games unbeaten, and we took it into the National League and then got bullied by Solihull 4-0 or something.
Yes.
Stupid. Okay, maybe that doesn't work so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're up to 12th. There is
Yeah.
a hope chance that kills you, but yeah, it's gone. But we'll see. What we're going to do now is we're going to very quickly ask for some good, bad, and funnies for the overall for the last couple games, whatever you want, from the penalty shootout all the way through. I'm not precious. Whatever you want to go for. Right. I'm going to go first. On the Braintree match, this covers good, bad, funny, and ugly. I was helping set up the TV, and I went to take off my hoodie, and my T-shirt got caught up, and they both came off. A normal person would have went, "Oh, I'm just going to put that all back on again," but I'm standing there in the room full of people trying to unravel my T-shirt. It's like, it took ages. And I apologize to every single person there for that horrible vision, and every single person thinking of it now. But Paul, what was good for you over the last week or so?
Oh, well, in a week or so, if you'd said last few weeks, I'd have included the trip to Boston.
We've covered Boston. You weren't there, man.
All right, fair enough. What's been good over the last few weeks? It has to be football related as well, doesn't it? No, I suppose we've got to say the late goal yesterday, haven't we? I think I'll get in there and nick that one then. Battling away and claiming that.
Yeah, excellent.
A very pleasurable 3 points.
Excellent. And Mark, what was good for you?
Well, I suppose 4 points against sides above us in the table who are in or close to the playoff places.
Perfect. And what was bad for you, Mark?
Well, I suppose the absence of Will and Finlay yesterday. We don't know when they're going to be back, why they're out. But, as I mentioned earlier, we're already missing a number of quite important players. And if those two are out for a spell as well, that's despite the spirit that the whole team showed yesterday, that's not going to be great for us. But we'll see.
Yeah. Paul, what was bad for you?
Not really bad, but sometimes I got a bit frustrated with the way we were knocking the ball about at times. The last couple of games, as I said before, stray passes, the movement sometimes just wasn't quite there, I felt. So, I think I'd say that. Nice to see the movement, and though we are working well as a team generally, a bit more movement and some quicker balls would be nice.
Excellent. And what was funny for you?
Funny? I can't think of anything funny. What funny's happened the last couple of games? Funny for me to be there on a Tuesday. I think I've made something like, because of my children, I don't often make Tuesday night games. So I think I've done about 5 or 6 in the last 10 years, maybe. So maybe that's a funny for me to be at a Tuesday night game. Oh, and I forgot my coat. I didn't bring a coat with me, and I was like, "This was a bad idea."
What do I need a coat for?
It
threw me completely yesterday. You and Josh both being there. I was like, what's going on here? Mark, what was funny for you?
Oh, it's got to be the own goal. I mean, football supporters can be a little bit cruel at times. We do, as I said earlier, sometimes take delight in the misfortune of other teams. Nothing particularly against Rochdale, but yeah, the way that went in was quite amusing.
Perfect. Right. Well, I've got two other things. I was popping my investigative journalism hat on the Saturday, having chat with different people, and Finley's brother was there, and I was very happy just to have a little chat with him. I said, "How's it going? How's your season going?" And he was like, "Oh well, yeah, I was going really well at Chelmsford and blah blah blah, and doing really well." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean was?" And then he kind of looked down, and he's wearing a great big boot on his foot, and I'm like, what an arsehole question that is. How are you limping around? How's your season going? So yeah, that's another one. The crowd last night, we should have mentioned this. Did not stop. I know Seb has said his arms were like jelly with the banging on the drum, but obviously I was in a slightly different spot yesterday. Definitely could hear them, definitely going all game. What difference do you think that made, Mark?
I think it makes a difference. We've heard a few comments recently about the home crowd being a bit quiet and moaning a lot. There is obviously a lot of that going on, and understandable given home performances have been a bit disappointing this calendar year. But the youngsters behind the goal, perhaps not quite as many of them last night. It was a score night, even though it's Easter holidays, but not quite as many of them maybe as there often is. But they still made the noise, as you say, and I think that does lift the team. I think the management team appreciate it, and it's a bit circular. If the team feels the crowd's egging them on, then that can give them an extra 1 or 2% maybe. And then the fans can see that, and then they get more behind the team. So you get into a kind of virtuous circle rather than a vicious circle, which can also develop if things are not going well.
Yeah, exactly. Paul, what do you think of the noise they were making last night?
Yeah, I mean, I was standing quite close to it where I was, and it's always good to see that they are creating that atmosphere. They're brilliant, and I applaud them. I think they're making a great job of improving the atmosphere for us at that end. Even when we're at the far end, I often stand behind the goal at the far end, even if we're shooting that way, and you can hear them very clearly from that end. So it's good, and it's good to see it reverberating around the ground. Definitely keep it up, guys.
It's been not a problem, that's the wrong word, but we've been quiet for many, many years. I remember lots of discussions of how can we do things, how can we make people do this more, and it's never really everyone had a place to go. And now they've got their little home with that place to go, so hopefully it will just keep going. I know they've got some things planned, certainly for the Woking match, and obviously next season as well. So probably going to get some of them on at some point in the summer just to kind of explain yourselves, children. No, not really. Just to go through different things and tell them how everyone else can kind of help and point people towards them. But we're going to quickly talk about Ebbsfleet, even though Paul's kind of covered it.
Sorry.
That's all right, mate. As you mentioned, they've been picking up points. This seems to happen to us quite a lot. Suddenly a team doing quite well just as we're about to play them. But where do you see it going on Saturday? How do you see us continuing this run, or would you take a point now and move on? Paul.
No, there you go. I'm going to be optimistic. We are going to 2-0. We're going to beat them. We're going to continue our hard-working performances, and we're going to battle away. And let's see us put them to the sword. Get at them early, and demoralise them.
Do it early. This is what we need next. Do it early.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you think?
We had difficulty beating Ebbsfleet in the 2 games we played at Gander Green Lane against them this season. We beat them 3-2 in the league, I think, but it was a bit of a battle. And then in the trophy, it was 3-3, and then we won the penalty shootout. And as you say, since their relegation was confirmed, that their results do seem to have improved a bit. They've been picking up a few points. On the other hand, our away form generally our performances have been a bit better than the home ones this year, and obviously we would have had a bit of a lift from the recent results. So unusually for me, I'm going to be a bit optimistic. I reckon we will win. I'm going to say 2-1.
Excellent. Well, I'm obviously going to go for a win, but we're now going to hear exactly how this game's going to go because we're all going for a win. Yeah, we're all optimistic. So know how it's going to go. I'll go 3-1 because I think we'll get some early and then we'll get a late and we'll tighten up a little bit. So, but let us know what you think. Join the prediction league. I know Paul and Stuart. I haven't actually updated the table from last night, so we'll have a look. But I know Paul and Stuart are battling away. So we will see which of them does it over the next 5 games. Thank you both. We're going to wrap up this episode of Sutton Podcast. As always, we appreciate your attention and feedback. Let us know if you've ever tried to convert anyone to become a Sutton United supporter and how's it gone. Follow, like, and share at Sutton Podcast on social medias. And next time we will be back after Absolute Match. I cannot remember who's doing that one. But thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Star Gin. Thank you to today's panel, Paul and Mark. And thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Sutton Podcast. Take care and we'll catch up soon. Bye-bye.
United!